Hello everyone, my name is Earamichia Brown, also known as Encyclopedia on the online internet community, and today I'm going to show you how to make some lovely placemats. Now for starters, we want to think about what fabric you want. Now you would like to have two coordinating fabrics for the top side as well as the bottom, and then you're going to also want some batting. So when you think about your batting, you want your craft batting. So this is a nice craft batting that's used. You can use pure cotton, you can use the polyester fill, but you want to make sure it's a thin size because it is a placemat and you don't want it too lofty. So you want to ensure that you have a nice, good batting. In addition to our batting, you will have your scissors as well as your coordinating thread. And if you're going to sew it by hand, you will have your needles. If not, you would utilize a machine. And you will also want a placemat, and it doesn't matter what the placemat looks like. We're actually going to be utilizing this to give us our shape. So this way you don't have to worry about a ruler, you don't have to worry about measuring it. But if you happen to not have a placemat for some reason, and that's why you're making them, then you can measure out a placemat, which tends to be about 13.5 to 14 inches on the short side, to anywhere from 17 to 19 inches on the long side. So once again, anywhere from 13 to 14.5 on a short side, 17 to 19 on the long side if you don't have a placemat to use as a mock-up. So now we have our placemat that we're going to use as our model. We have our coordinating fabrics. This is the fabrics that I've chosen. So you have your fabrics as well as your cotton batting, and as I stated before, you want to make sure it's the thin one because you will be placing your cups and your plates and china on that as well. So what you'll do is you'll place your batting down first, then you'll place your fabric right side up, whichever one it is. It doesn't matter if it's the bottom or whatever you choose to be the top, and then you're going to place your next fabric on top, right sides facing together of your second piece of fabric. Then we'll place our placemat down, and then we will smooth everything out to make sure it's even and secure. And then we'll actually take our scissors and we'll begin to cut around the edges using our placemat as a guide. And now we'll actually turn it around to the other side. And you don't have to worry about it being super straight because this is going to be the raw edge that we'll be stitching over anyway. So let's go on to the other side. And our final side. And now we have a perfect size for our placemat. And now we have cut around our edges for the placemat. You can also utilize a rotary cutter to go around the edges, which also makes it quite simple as well, but just in case if you didn't have one, that's why we do use the scissors. Now we'll remove our placemat. And now we have our smooth portion that we're going to utilize. And as again, we have the two pieces facing each other, as well as the craft batting underneath. And now we will actually pin our layers together to avoid shifting as you decide to either machine stitch or you can hand stitch it together. So this is one that has already been pinned, and even though you can't see the pin too clearly on camera, we have pinned it in key places around, not too many of them, just to ensure that it prevents it from slipping. So once you've pinned your edges, you can either choose to machine stitch your placemat, or you can hand stitch it around the edge. Now I'm actually going to remove the pins now because I've already secure the edges of the placemat. And what I'm going to show you is that when you stitch around the edge, you want to ensure that you leave about a 4-inch hole on either side. It doesn't matter where you leave the hole. But once again, you're going to be hand stitching or machine stitching along the edges of the 4 corners of the placemat, remembering to leave about a good 4 inches along the side so we can turn it in a moment, and that's what I'm going to show you. So now that you either hand stitched or machine stitched around your edge, it's time to turn your work of art inside out. So you're going to stick your hand through that portion and grab any of the corners furthest away from you, push them in, and basically turn it inside out as you would a sweater, pair of pants, or what have you. Now it's all right side up, and at this point what we are going to do is you would iron it closed, or rather iron it flat, and then the portion that is remaining open, you have a couple of options to finish off your placemat. Now you can choose to either hand sew that portion closed, or you can choose to machine stitch, and I actually chose to top stitch the whole opening that's left over. Now the way you would do that is you would turn in your opening, turn it into each other, and basically what you're ensuring is that you don't see your raw edges. And now this part you can either choose to pin, or if not, you can actually just stitch it along the edge just like that. Now I have one that's been completed. As you notice, it's been ironed flat, and I have chosen to top stitch around the corners. You can't really see it here, but basically you are stitching or machine stitching or hand stitching close around the edge, which will also ensure that you close off the portion that was left over. And that is a wonderful way to make a simple, easy placemat. And you have reversible as well. Now if you want to be a little adventurous and you want to try something else, you can take maybe 4 coordinating fabrics, stack them on top of each other, and just slice down the bottom and shuffle the fabric, and you can end up with designs similar to this. And basically all that was done was that the 4 fabrics were stacked on top of each other, sliced down, shuffle the fabrics through, so each piece has a different coordinating color. And that is how you make a simple placemat. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or you'd like to reach out to me, you can email me at e@cocktailsandthread.com.